Hey, what's up you guys? Guinea Piggies Designs here, and today I am bringing you episode 9. Now, real quick, for those of you who are new, my name is Brittany. I basically just sew things for your small animals and do other random things, but in today's video, I am bringing you episode 9 to where I sew cozies for my own cage. And in this video, I am basically going to set up mostly everything for pre-sewing. So this is where I line up all the pieces to where I need them to be so that way I could sew them. But I'm not going to do an intro or an outro today because this video is going to be kind of long. I tried to get things ready to sew as many items as I could, but I ran out of clips. I didn't have enough to sew. Me finishing up the setting up everything for sewing process is probably going to be in another video once I get some more clips. But let's go and get into the video. So here I am setting up the couch for sewing. So I already set up the first pad. So all I'm doing is laying down my U-haul, laying down my fleece, making sure that the good side is facing me, laying down my other fleece, making sure the bad side is facing me, and then laying down the U-haul. And I'm doing that to both pads. And then I am going to fold the arms in half, making sure that both of the good sides are touching each other. So like that, as you can see. And then for everything else, as it goes for the couch, I'm going to be setting those pieces up later because I need to sew the pieces that I am getting ready now in order to add on to that. And I'm also going to be setting up the pillows for sewing. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to lay down my pillow piece with the fleece with the good side facing me, and then I'm going to lay down the other piece with the bad side facing me, and I'm going to do that with both pillows.
You know that it's killing me. Why do you always leave? It's not right. We don't fight.
Alright, now I am working on the corner forest. So for this, I'm going to lay my U-haul down and then a piece of my fleece down, making sure that the good side is facing me. And then below it, I'm going to lay down a piece of fleece, making sure the bad side is facing me. And I'm going to lay down the other fleece, making sure the good side is facing me. And then I'm going to trim all around it just to straighten out the edges. So that way when it's finished, it looks more neat. And then I am going to attach this to the top part of my corner forest. And then I am going to take the other piece of fleece and put it on top, making sure that it's lining up. And this, you want to make sure the bad side is facing you. And then I am going to repeat this same process to the second corner forest. And also you guys can clip this, but I don't have a whole bunch of clips, so I'm kind of trying to only clip what I need to clip. Usually with something like this, I just sew it as it is because it's not a whole bunch of layers, or it's not a big item. So there's that.
I guess you're back. Are you gonna tell me where you went? All the messages I sent with no reply. It's like that. You're just gonna walk into my room. I hate how you assume I'll take the pleasure and the pain, the sorrows in your brain.
Alright, now I am moving on to the 1x1 fleece forest. So for this, I'm going to lay down my U-haul and then lay down my fleece, making sure the good side is facing me. And then below it, I'm going to lay down a piece of fleece, making sure the bad side is facing me. Then lay down another piece of fleece, making sure the good side is facing me. And then I'm going to trim all the way around it so that way the edges are straight. And then I'm going to place this on my top piece, like so. And you guys, if you are using a print that is facing one direction, pay attention to how I'm placing the prints, if that makes sense. So that way when it's finished, your print is going to be facing the right direction. And basically I'm doing this with all 4 pieces. I'm just adding my rainbow fleece and my sloth fleece together, just like I did the first one. I cut around it and then I place it on the top piece. and just pay attention to how I place these if you want to get a better idea of how I do it. It's kind of hard to explain, so just go off from what you see in the video. And also, when you place these pieces down, make sure the corners are exposed before you put the top layer on. As you can see, my fringe part, they are not covering the corners, only the top piece is showing. So you want to make sure that the corners are like that. And then once I put all my fringe pieces on, I'm going to take my other fleece piece. I'm going to put it on and make sure the bad side is facing me. And then since this is a lot of layers, I do like to clip these. And then I am going to be making another 1x1 fleece forest after this. So I'm just going to be repeating the same process that I just did.
Tell me where you went. All the messages I sent with no reply. It's like that. You're just gonna walk into my room. I hate how you assume I'll take the pleasure and the pain, the sorrows in your brain, 'cause I know you're on the run. I'll take the pleasure and the pain, your secrets to my grave.
I am moving on to the 1x2 fleece forest. So it's basically the same process where I lay down my longer piece, the U-Haul piece, and then I lay down my fleece, making sure the good side is facing me and making sure that is the longest piece. And then I like to work on the longer pieces first, where I lay down the fleece, making sure the bad side is facing me. And then I'll lay down the other piece of fleece, making sure the good side is facing me. And then I'm trimming all the way around it, like so, and then I'm going to place it on the top part of my 2x1 fleece forest, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the second piece for the 1x1 fleece forest, just trimming all around it. And then when I get to the sides, I'm basically going to trim all the way around it and then place those on my top piece, but they're going to be lined up on the shorter sides, if that makes sense, and you'll see me do that in the video. And also make sure that the corners are exposed, just like I did in the previous fleece forests. And pay attention to how I'm placing the prints. That way, when you turn these right side out after we sew, they're going to be facing the right direction. Alright, and then once I got all my side pieces on the top piece, I am going to place my other longer piece on top of everything. And then I'm going to make sure that the bad side of that is facing me. And then after this, I'm going to be making another 2x1 fleece forest. So I'm just going to be repeating the same process over again that I just did.
We don't fight, but I know what you've been through. I'll Are you gonna tell me where you went? All the messages I sent with no reply. It's like that. You're just gonna walk into my room. I hate how you assume I'll take the pleasure and the pain, the sorrows in your brain, 'cause I know you're on the run. I'll take the pleasure and the pain, your secrets to my grave, 'cause you are the only one. 'Cause you are the only one. The only one. 'Cause you are the only one. The only one.
Alright, so now I am moving on to the 1x1 cage liners. So I am making 8 of these. So for this part, all I'm doing is laying down the U-haul and then laying down the fleece, making sure the good side is facing me, laying down the other fleece, making sure the bad side is facing me, and then laying down the U-haul again. And then since I am low on clips, I will not be clipping these, but you can clip them if it'll make it easier for you. And I'm doing this 8 times.
There will always be a place for you by my side, day or night. You know that it's killing me. Why'd you always leave? It's not right. We don't fight, but I know what you've been through.
Alright, now I'm moving on to the 2x1 cage liners. So I am making 4 of these. So what I'm going to do here is lay down my U-haul piece, then lay down my fleece, making sure the good side is facing me. And then I'm going to lay down my other fleece, making sure the bad side is facing me. And then I'm going to lay down my U-haul. And then what I like to do is trim around the edges so that way everything is lining up. And then once I trim around all the edges, I am going to be clipping this together because it is a bigger item. So I just want to make sure the layers stay together. So I'm going to clip this one. And then I'm going to repeat the same process 3 more times after this.
I'll take the pleasure and the pain, the sorrows in your brain, 'cause I know you're on the run. I'll take the pleasure and the pain, your secrets to my grave, 'cause you are the only one. I guess you're back. Are you gonna tell me where you went? All the messages I sent with no reply. It's like that. You're just gonna walk into my room. I hate how you assume I'll take the pleasure and the pain, the sorrows in your brain, 'cause I know you're on the run. I'll take the pleasure and the pain, your secrets to my grave, 'cause you are the only one. 'Cause you are the only one. The only one. gonna tell me where you went?
Alright, now I am moving on to the 2x4 cage liners, and I am making 4 of these. So what I like to do first is I like to lay down my U-Haul, and then I'm going to take my ruler and try to flatten it out as much as I can. And then I'm going to take my 2x4 piece of fleece, making sure the good side is facing me. And then I'm going to take my ruler and try to flatten that out again. And then I'm going to take my other piece of fleece, making sure that the bad side is facing me. And then again, I'm going to take my ruler, try to flatten that out as much as I can. And then I am going to lay down the U-Haul piece again, making sure to use my ruler to try to smooth it out again. And then I am going to take my scissors and I am going to trim all the way around it. And after I'm done trimming, I am going to clip all the way around it. And then I am going to repeat this same process 3 more times.
always be a place for you by my side, day or night. You know that it's killing me. Why do you always leave? It's not right. We don't fight, but I know what you've been through. I'll take the pleasure and the pain, the sorrows in your brain, 'cause I know you're on the run. I'll take the pleasure and the pain, your secrets to my grave, 'cause you are the only one. I'll take the pleasure and the pain, the sorrows in your brain, 'cause I know you're on the run. I'll take the pleasure and the pain, your secrets to my grave, 'cause you are the only one. I guess you're back. Are you gonna tell me where you went? All the messages I sent with no reply. It's like that. You're just gonna walk into my room. I hate how you assume. I'll take the pleasure and the pain, the sorrows in your brain, 'cause I know you're on the run. I'll take the pleasure and the pain, your secrets to my grave, 'cause you are the only one. 'Cause you are the only one. The only one. 'Cause you are the only one. The only one. There will always be a place for you by my side, day or night. You know that it's killing me. Why do you always leave? It's not right. We don't fight, but I know what you've been through. I'll take the pleasure and the pain, the sorrows in your brain, 'cause I know you're on the run. I'll take the pleasure and the pain, your secrets to.
Now I'm moving on to prepping the cube. So what I like to do first is the pads. So I lay down the U-Haul, and I lay down the fleece with the good side facing me, and then I lay down the next piece of fleece with the bad side facing me, and then I lay down the U-Haul. So I do that with both pads, and then I like to work on the openings. So for the openings, for what I do is I lay down my inside fleece with the good side facing me, and then I lay down the outside fleece with the bad side facing me, and then I use my container to trace that out. or to trace the circle out, basically I stick the container in the middle of the foam and I trace around it, and then I usually clip all the sides, but since I am short on clips, I am not clipping the openings. But the container that I use, it's about a 5-inch diameter container. You can just free trace it. I just use the container because it's just easier. And then what I do for the rest of the pieces is I lay down my fleece, bad side facing me, and then I put my foam on top, and then I put my outside fleece on top with the good side facing me. And then I do that with the remaining pieces, which should be 4 pieces. And now I'm working on another cube here where I'm just repeating the same process. And I do have a cube tutorial here on my channel, so if this sounds confusing, you can check that out for more clarification of what I do exactly. Now I'm moving on to the foam tunnels. So for this, I like to work on the pads first, and what I do there is I lay down the U-haul, lay down the fleece, good side facing me, lay down the other fleece, bad side facing me, and then I lay down the U-haul. And I do that with both pads because I am making 2 removable pads. And next I'm going to be working on the bottom of the tunnel, so I'm going to lay down the fleece with the good side facing me, and then the other fleece, bad side facing me. And then I'm putting the foam on top so I can trace around it. So for the longer sides, you want to trace 2 inches away from the edge, and then for the shorter sides, you want to trace as close as you can. And now I'm working on the top piece where I'm repeating the same process. So I lay down my fleece, good side facing me, then the other fleece, bad side facing me. And then for the longer edge on this, I am tracing 2 inches away from those edges, and then for the shorter edges I am tracing as close as I can, and then I'm setting them to the side. And after this I'm going to be working on another tunnel, so I'm just repeating the same process I just did. So here are all the pieces I prepped for sewing so far. Now I did not prep everything because I did run out of clips for this. So I still have to prep all that over there, as you can see. So I still need to do the hooded houses, the cuddle cups, and all of the woodland pieces, and the snuggle tunnels and all that. So for now, in my next video, I am going to start sewing, and then once I get more clips back, I'm going to prep the rest of the items. But anyways, also, everything I did use in this video, like the clips, my cutting mat, my rotary cutter and all that, it's going to be linked down below in the description. And if you guys do have any questions or are confused about anything I did in this video, comment down below and I will do my best to try to explain it to you. But yeah, if you guys still like this series, go ahead and give this video a like. And if you guys do want to see more videos from me, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Alright, bye!